Hello, welcome to another episode of Sex with Ashley. I'm your host, Ashley, and so today is we're having a really good discussion. So June 27th was National HIV Testing Day, and so National HIV Testing Day is a very important day. It's a big day because we talk about testing, and we remove the stigma from testing, and kind of encourage people to go get tested. So today on the pod we have Kennedi Lowman, and
Yeah.
Kennedy is a woman who was living with HIV. And so why I wanted her on on the show today, because I wanted her to talk about like just her experiences and to explain why testing is important and so very very needed. Because I think when it comes to women, particularly Black women, we see HIV as something that happens to people over there and something that does not affect us here in our own backyards, and it does, right? So Black women are like 50% of the population, but we make up over half of all the new infection rates, right? So that means that we are being affected by that, so impacted by that. So I wanted to talk to someone who knew a little bit more than I did, and we can just so we can reiterate the importance of being tested. So hello, Kennedy.
Hi, Ashley.
How you doing?
Hi. I'm good, girl. How you doing?
Good. I am good. So did you do any like were you out in the streets last week for national HIV testing today, doing any type of like testing with Walgreens?
No, I was actually at a conference in California.
I was my organization that I work with, we were at Walgreens here in Atlanta, and we tested about 20 people.
That's good.
Yeah, it
I,
is.
I
Last year we
normally
did it.
I normally have
So what?
better success. I normally have better success at giving people the at-home HIV self-test kits.
Yeah, so yeah, that makes sense. I will say this year we had less people than previous years typically. So
Hmm.
Walmart has a people who don't know, not Walmart, Walgreens has a partnership with
Greater
who
than
is it?
AIDS.
Greater than
Greater than
AIDS. That's
AIDS.
correct. Greater than AIDS. So like on National HIV Testing Days, which is June 27th, and all over America, they partner with Walgreens, and organizations can come in and provide free HIV testing to Walgreens customers or people off the street or whomever had to be to Walgreens. So we do that every year on June 27th. So can just an intro, give us a little bit about who you are, and we'll get into like your story in a minute. Who are you? Who is Candy Lowman?
First of all, National HIV Testing Day is my birthday. I'm a
Really?
June 27. Yes. That
Happy
was funny when
birthday.
I found that out. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And so I am Kennedy Lowman. I am a 38-year-old Black woman with a degree from Albany State University, a degree from Tuskegee, currently in school right now at Georgia State University, and I have been living with HIV for 8 years. I am a
Okay.
co-founder of a women's group for cisgender women living with HIV, and that's anywhere. We're a private support group, and so we have over 300 women in our group living with HIV.
So what should women, particularly Black women, know about HIV? What should we know?
That HIV doesn't have a race, doesn't have a sex, doesn't have a sexual orientation. It can happen to anyone. And a lot of times, too, how it gets misdiagnosed is because the symptoms will look like the flu.
Hmm.
And a lot of times you're going to, urgent care or the ER. And because in Georgia we are at will state, they don't ask about HIV tests. You have to specifically say you want an HIV test. And so get tested. It can happen to anybody. Married, not married, dating. So a lot of people, think once they get married, I don't have to get tested. But no, you should. A lot of women in our women group, that's how they found out when they were married and they maybe went to go have their first child. And we're all human at the end of the day. And so I tell women, protect yourself. Like, please put you first and protect yourself. And not just every year you go get your PAP. No, girl, every 3 to 6 months, if you are sexually active, you should go get tested.
That's what I do. So I am on PrEP, which is PrEP is pre-exposure prophylaxis, which is a medication that prevents people from acquiring HIV. Um, when taken correctly, it's like 98% effective when taken correctly. So in doing that, I go to the doctor to get my PrEP. I have the injection form of PrEP. So I go to the doctor to get my injection every other month. one thing I like about that is I'm able to go and also get my STI screenings and all those things. So by every other month, I get a screening, and I know if something is going awry, right? I remember this. I'm telling my business, but that's what we're on here for. So I remember like last year, because last time I was outside, I was outside. And so last year doing my routine screening, something came back. And my doctor was like, okay, Ashley, but because I get them so often, I was able to like trace
Figure
it
it out
back.
beforehand.
I was able to figure it out like, oh, okay, it's 1-2, right? Because like,
Mm.
'cause just 2 months ago it was fine and like 1-2. So I was able to trace it back. So that is the I love about going to the doctor so often is because I get tested. And I think people had this misconception because I was at a dinner Friday with some very prominent influencers in Atlanta, and we had a conversation about it was National HIV Testing Day, so we had a conversation about sex and testing and all those things. And people still don't know that the most common symptom of an STI is no symptom at all. Like people think it has a
Especially for us women, because our sexual organ is internal. And that's what I tell when I'm out talking to young ladies.
it's internal. So sometimes like Kendi said, sometimes it'll like be flu symptoms, or like it could be like yeast
You think yeast
infections or
infection?
like
Yeah.
that. And you mess around, you have chlamydia, right? It don't even be yeast infection. It might be
Hmm.
you have something else. So it's very important to go get tested, because sometimes you don't know, because the symptoms don't look like what we think they look like. And if you are me, it's like I'm a 80s baby, 90s kid. And so like in the 90s, they kind of scared us straight with sex ed, because you would go to gym class and they'll show these pictures of like all these like warts and bumped up private parts like penises and vaginas, and they was like, oh, it's gonna look
Hmm.
like that. So that's how you know you have something, because you have all these little it's oozing and like these little red dots, and that is not how it looks anymore. It has metamorphed to like it doesn't look like that anymore. You're gonna be waiting for a long time sometimes.
It's not just about,
Okay, Andy, so I'm gonna ask you a question, right? So particularly women, the HIV is something they cannot get or acquire because, well, I am not a sex worker. I am not someone who has sex with multiple people. Now, Kennedy, so are you a sex worker?
no, ma'am.
Okay, so
These
Kennedy's not
student
a sex
loans
worker.
would be paid if I was.
Okay, so we clear that up. So Kennedy is not a sex
Hmm.
worker. Have you ever been a sex worker?
No, ma'am.
And she's never been a sex worker. So I'm just clearing that out there so people can know you can be a regular person having regular sex and still acquire HIV. It's not assigned to a certain type of person and a certain type of sex. Like all you
Hmm.
need is to be someone who's having sex. That's it.
Period.
Period. That's it. So yeah, so Kennedy, so another question I have for you. People also assume that because someone is living with HIV that they no longer can like have sex, or their life is not the same. So would you like to share any information about that? The misconception about just because I'm someone living with HIV, that does not mean that I'm also don't get to enjoy or have sexual relationships. That you can
And
enjoy.
so my reply to that be, HIV don't make it start getting wet. It don't make it start getting hard. It's gonna do what it does. So yes, and I enjoy sex. The only bad part that I experienced was and it's still not even an easy thing, disclosure, because you have to disclose you're living with HIV to your sexual partners. And so it doesn't get easy. And I allow people, hey, you can come to the doctor with me. I educate them. I'll share my YouTube channel or things that I've done, giving out knowledge. And you take it from there. Some people, are okay with it, some not. One guy came back and he said that, wow, I didn't know HIV positive women could still have kids. You can still have kids, okay? They're going to be HIV negative as long as you take your medication and do as your doctor prescribed. You can have HIV negative kids.
So can you explain like the whole U equals U thing? So explain what that means, and also explain how someone positive is able to still have kids. Also, how someone positive is able to have sex and still not transfer it to their partners.
As a person living with HIV, as long as you take your medication as prescribed by your provider, then you're going to obtain or try to obtain undetectable. Undetectable means that the HIV is so low in your bloodstream that you cannot transmit it. So undetectable equals untransmittable. As long as you are undetectable, you cannot pass your HIV on to sexual partners, to your baby, anybody else. You know, if you get cut and oh my gosh, your blood get on somebody, baby, you are not gonna get HIV. Okay, it is not gonna happen. And so look it up. The study, I want to say, I think the study had over maybe 600 couples in it to test it out. And so one person is serodiscoordinate relationship, where one person is HIV positive and the other is HIV negative. And those that were HIV negative after the study still remained HIV negative. So the science works.
Science works. And speaking of science, explain to people how HIV is transmitted. Because some people still feel like, to this day, I know it's 2025. People still feel like you can still get HIV from like drinking behind people. You can still get it from like sharing different things. So just to clear that up, right? So like, how is HIV transmitted?
That was my own self-internalized stigma too when I was first diagnosed. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh my gosh, like my family not gonna let me around the kids in the family. You know, even though I have a science background and I know that it's not possible, but it's just because of the olden days in the 80s, all that negative stigma that surrounds HIV. And so HIV nowadays is mainly transmitted through sexual intercourse. There are very few people, but it is still transmitted through IV drug users also.
Right.
But there's very few people because now there are a lot of clean needle programs where people can get clean needles, you know, a couple of weeks, a couple of months. So that's also diminished. The numbers have went down on that one also.
Okay. Explain, earlier you talking about your program with Lotus. Explain to me what Lotus is and your work with it and your work with Lotus.
Stands for Loving Ourselves Through Unity and Strength. And so we are a private support group where women can come get the love and the support they need. We also do fun activities together. We do photo shoots to show people that we're here, we're living, we're not hiding in the shadows. And life is for the living. When I was first diagnosed here in the Atlanta area, I didn't see many young black women like myself. And let's be honest, this is Atlanta. And I said, now I know I'm not the only young black woman living in Atlanta with HIV. And so I decided that, okay, I'll use my story so that I can provide my sisters with that support to say, you don't have to be a public face like me, but come out and get the love and support that you need. Once I became diagnosed and got involved in the HIV community, I have a whole separate family. I mean, literally takes care of me. I were with half of them in the conference last week. And some of the ways that some of them was like, you're not going, and I was like, y'all, it's okay. Come to, they not doing you. It's talking to you. Okay, I'm gonna just step back over here and, you know, let y'all protect me. I thank you. So I have a whole new family, friends, sisters, brothers, love them all dearly. And then for my sisters, though, it's just that, ladies, we all need each other. We take care of the kids, husband, mama, you know, the elderly members of our family. And so sometimes we just need us. And so it's good. We will, on our private support network, we meet second and fourth Thursdays. And so sometimes we'll just get on the call and just laugh and joke. Other co-founder, Freda Jones. Freda loves to play games. So if you ever see like a new card game come out on Instagram or something, majority of the time, Freda got the card game. And we're going to play card games. A few weeks ago, I said, we're going to have a dance party. Like, let's just dance. So I was the DJ over here on the other end. And I was like, all right, drop what y'all want next in the chat. So we was playing everything. I mean, from, you know, the oldies and goodies to now we over here playing a little, you know, little ratchet. Because I was like, hold on now, y'all. Got a little ratchet. So I like my little ratchets. Having a great time, like I said. We go out to dinner, movies. We all went to see Color Purple together. And it was so funny because we wanted to go to eat afterwards. And the place that I chose was booked. And so we just kind of found this little bar in the area. And I was kind of like, it's a lot of Caucasian people in here. Are y'all going to be okay? And they was like, yeah, as long as the food and stuff is good. Okay, cool. And we went in there and had a great time. And this guy, the bar, turned around and he came over. He was like, wait, whoa. He was like, I was just sitting here and I turned around and looked. And I saw a lot of beautiful women together. He was like, whoa. And he paid for everything. Like, I mean, he was like, order whatever y'all want, drink however much you want. He was like, this is on me. He was like, I'm proud to see women out together like this. And so we just love on each other.
So, question: why do you think that the HIV numbers are so high among Black women? If you had to take a guess.
At times, just being honest and knowing, because I was that person, in the beginning myself too. You just believe in everything he tell you. He ain't cheating. All the red flags and signs are there. Or I had a friend who came to me because her partner kept giving her other STIs, and the more STIs you have too can also lower your risk, if you contract the HIV. And it's also is like, I ain't got time for me. So, I made that once a month, the once a year doctor's appointment. I don't have time to go to the doctor if I've had this bad headache, for 2 weeks. I'm just going to keep popping Tylenol and keep moving. So we don't take care of ourselves until it's too late a lot of times. And then, like I said, too, we kind of believe everything she say and be like, sis, like, the red flag just been waving the whole time. And sometimes, as a friend, sometimes you gotta let people see it for themselves if they won't listen. And I wish it would be before you come to me, because you are now a woman living with HIV, but not really valuing and putting ourselves first a lot as Black women.
With that, I think that we, as Black women, we don't prioritize ourselves like we need to. I think, particularly, like you said, when it comes to our partners, we don't want to like upset people. We want to go along and get along. And so we like, oh, I don't want them to think that, I don't love them, or I'm a hoe, or I'm outside, or all the things that we make up in our mind. And so we kind of like go along with what they say versus checking in for ourselves, and we put that responsibility on them when we could go get tested ourselves. And like something you said earlier today, you said that you do like at home testing, or
Yeah.
you give out at home tests.
Because some people,
So
I understand, some people don't want to do that in front of other people. And so,
right,
hey, here's the confidentiality of doing it at home. And, depending on your results, reach back out to me. We can help you
right.
with the next process.
So if someone's listening to this and they interested in like taking it at home, where can they go to get at home tests? Are some free? I know you can go to like Walmart, CVS to get some. Those are like 30, 40. So but do you have like a resource for like free ones people can get?
I would say check with your local health department. Right now, in this current administration, it is getting really hard to find them and get them for those of us in the community that do this work. But I will also Google online. Like literally, you could probably type in, free at home HIV test kits, or look up local CBOs, community based organizations, or ASOs, AIDS service organizations. Majority of the time, they're going to have those kits. And so, hey, you can go in there, you can take a test kit, or say, hey, I just rather take one and take it home. And that's fine too. I kind of have a few on hand that are kind of diminishing as I see people and talk about them, and so I give them out. But if anyone needs help, then of course they can reach out to me, and I'm sure also places where they can reach out to you and get them if they need them also.
Right. I know that we were getting them from at one point in time the Take Me Home, the CDC website. I'm not sure if that website is even still a thing anymore. I haven't checked honestly in the last month.
Well, we were getting them from the local health department, which, has been disbanded, the sexual health team. So that's where, I could be like, hey, I need 6 cases. And they be like, girl, what time you want to go pick them up? And I go pick up those 6 cases. And
Okay.
so right now that's a little shaky, and we all having to call around and find around. So yeah.
Okay. So how has living with HIV changed your life? It can be for the better. Let's do for the better.
For the better, as how we was talking about why us as Black women don't pay attention to get diagnosed, because we not prioritizing and putting ourselves first. Like you said, I wasn't putting myself first. I was, listening to any and everything he said, and I'm not asking the questions, like not thinking that you smart, you got a good job, and good head on your shoulders. I didn't think you're purposely going around doing this, but yeah, was purposely going around doing this. And so I didn't have the confidence in the beginning. So this is giving me that confidence. I say who, where, when, how I want it. If I don't want to be bothered, then I'm going to tell you that also. And so now I emboldened and I speak up for myself more. And people find it funny when I say HIV changed my life. If I would have been going and continued along the path that I was on, there's no telling what else I would have let myself be subjected to. So HIV changed my life.
That's good. So how can people contact you, Kennedi? Someone listening to this and they're like, oh, I want to know more about your story, or they want to just reach out to you for whatever reason. How can they do that?
On my Instagram at Kalo Inspires, and that's KLOWINSPIRES. I can be found. And so on there, you can find the link also to my website. And buy anything, I think I'm the same thing on Facebook, hashtag Kalo Inspires. On X, I think I'm truly Kalo. So yeah, but I promise you, if you type in my name, Kennedy with an I, Lowman on Google, you're going to find your girl.
Are you on TikTok too or not?
I am on TikTok, but I think that's like K Lowman. Oh,
Okay. Okay, cool. Hold on. Well, Kendi, it was nice to have you on the show today.
well, I didn't tell you about the lovely other organization that I work with,
What is that?
Stature Health Leadership Institute at Morehouse
Okay.
School of Medicine.
Explain those.
So, Stature is a leading force in health equality and
Okay.
equity.
Okay.
And they are also partnered with Georgia Thrives, a new initiative addressing structural barriers and HIV that's impacting Black communities in and around Atlanta, New Orleans, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Hmm.
I love it because they are very instrumental in helping and making sure that the word is spread and people know that HIV is here. Because I had been out of the community a little while for myself, I didn't know that Georgia, we are now #1 in new HIV case diagnosis. And that broke my heart because we have more than enough. Yeah, we're #1 in new diagnosis.
Jeez.
Right. So yeah. So there's a lot of things that I do in any way I can help anybody, whether that's coming to speak or if I find Tess bringing you Tess, then do please reach out because that is what we're here to do, help one another.
Yeah. Are you guys going to be at Essence? I know you say I do something new and Louis. Y'all gonna be at Essence this weekend? No.
No, I'll actually be at a wedding.
Okay. Well, I was like, maybe I'll see you.
USCHA, you will find us there.
Okay.
We actually,
That is
abstract got accepted for USCHA.
good. Good. And what is USCHA? People don't know what that is. I know what it is.
The United States Conference of HIV/AIDS, and it's a
Okay.
yearly conference every year, centered around, maybe PrEP. Or one year I did love the year that it was centered around Black women because I thank you for acknowledging and bringing us to the front since everybody forgets Black women. So that was a good year.
That was good. That was really good. That was 2 years ago, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
USCHA this year is in Washington D.C. September 6th, 7th, 8th,
7th through the 9th. I
somewhere
think it's
around
like
there.
7th through the 9th. Yeah.
Interested in going or you're in the DC area, please come check us out. I'll be there, Kendi will be there, and several other people that we know will be there. It's a really good conference to learn about just HIV prevention, and how you can make a difference. So,
Or how you
Kendi,
can also get involved in help. That's a thing a
yeah,
lot of people sometimes ask. Yeah, come around, come out so you can get involved in help.
yeah, good, a good place to start. So, Kennedy, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.